The crash landing, the sky ripped open like paper on fire. A small silver pod, no bigger than a car, shot through the clouds. Smoke followed it like a comet's tail. Birds scattered. Dogs barked. Somewhere deep in the forest outside a quiet human town, the pod crashed with a loud boom. Inside the pod was Lixa. Lixa was not human. She was small, only 2 feet tall. Her skin was a soft shade of purple, her eyes big and glowing like fireflies. She had 4 fingers, 2 tiny antennae, and the attitude of someone much taller. She was not here by choice. Her ship had been attacked by space pirates, and she pressed the emergency warp button without thinking. The ship jumped across galaxies and landed here. On Earth. Lixa groaned and crawled out of the broken pod. Great. Just great. I crash on a monster planet. She looked around. Trees, dirt, bugs the size of her face. Everything smelled wet and alive. She activated her translator crystal and opened her tiny journal. Day 1 log. Planet 243b, local name, Earth. The atmosphere is thick. Gravity is annoying. The locals are huge, possibly dangerous. Stay hidden. Do not get eaten. Lixa's first step on Earth was into a mud puddle. Her second step was into a bush filled with bees. Her third step? Into a shed. Yes, an old wooden shed at the edge of the forest. She slipped inside, coughing and covered in leaves. It was dark, dusty, full of weird human tools, giant scissors, strange black boots, and something called a lawnmower, which looked like a death machine on wheels. She found a corner, wrapped herself in a dirty towel, and started observing the world from a small crack in the shed wall. The next morning, she saw her first human, a tall man with a beard and a cowboy hat. He was carrying something. Was that a cow leg? Lixa gasped. They're carrying body parts. What kind of monsters are these? The man walked over to a big metal box. Fire came out of it. He started cooking the meat. More humans arrived. They laughed, made loud noises, and played something called country music. It was terrifying. And then Lixa saw the plate. Bones, sauce, smiles. They're eating bones. They don't even cook all the way. These are beasts. Savage, meat-loving. Giants. She ducked lower into the shed. Her heart pounded. Her translator crystal buzzed. Reminder, avoid contact. Humans equals high threat level. She peeked out again and saw something worse. A child. Small by human standards. Maybe 12 years old, but still 5 times bigger than her. He was walking toward the shed, holding a plate of food. Lixa panicked. She tried to hide behind a bucket, but it tipped over. Loud crash. The boy stopped. Hello? He said. She held her breath. He opened the door. Light flooded in. Dust danced in the air. Lixa froze. The boy saw her, this little purple creature, wrapped in a towel, holding a stick like a sword. For 3 long seconds, no one moved. Then the boy smiled. Whoa. What are you? Lixa raised her stick. Stay back, giant. I am trained in alien combat. The boy blinked. Cool, you talk. Are you a Pokémon? Lixa's eyes narrowed. Do I look like a Pokémon? The boy sat down slowly. He placed the plate of food on the ground. I'm Max, you hungry? She looked at the plate. Something orange and puffy sat on top. She sniffed it carefully. Then poked it. It was soft. She took a bite. Explosion. Salt. Crunch. Cheese. What is this? She asked. Cheese puff. Lixa looked at Max. You're not going to eat me? Max laughed. Only on Tuesdays. Lixa dropped her. Cheese puff. What? I'm kidding. Wow, you aliens are jumpy. She picked up the puff again, watching him closely. He didn't move. He didn't attack. Maybe humans weren't all bad? Still, she wrote in her journal. Day 2 log. A young human has made contact. Not hostile yet. Gave food instead of pain. Possibly soft in the head. Monitor closely. Do. Not trust. Also, cheese puff is very good. Asterisk, captured by the beast. Max couldn't believe what he was seeing. A tiny purple alien, wrapped in an old dish towel, eating a cheese puff like it was holy treasure. This was better than any video game, cartoon, or sci-fi movie he had ever watched. And Max had watched a lot. Lixa, however, was on the verge of a panic attack. So, you're not eating me. Today? Nope. Today's pizza night. Is that your word for roasted alien? Max laughed. A little too loudly. Bad idea. From inside the house came a woman's voice. Max, who are you talking to? Lixa's eyes widened. Another human? Is it the Alpha? Is it your mother? She, Max whispered, his eyes wide. She'll freak out if she sees you. She'll freak out? I'm the one hiding. Behind a bucket of rusty nails. The door to the shed began to open. Max panicked. So did Lixa. In one swift move, Max did what any 12-year-old would do when faced with an alien visitor and an approaching parent. He stuffed Lixa into his backpack. What are you doing? I'm not luggage. Just be quiet. The backpack zipped shut. Darkness. The scent of dirty socks. A squished banana. This is an act of war. Lixa muttered. Max stepped out of the shed, smiling too wide. Hey Mom, just, talking to myself. YKNO. Practicing my lines for drama club. His mom raised an eyebrow. You're not in drama club. Not yet. He walked past her, casually, like he didn't have a living alien squirming in his backpack. Every step was a new protest. You're crushing my antennae. Why? Is it so hot in here? I swear if I survive this, I'm vaporizing your lunchbox. Scene, Max's bedroom. Planet Earth, human territory. Max rushed upstairs, slammed his door shut, and dumped the backpack on his bed. Lixa shot out of it like a spring-loaded cat. I have rights, you know. She jumped down and looked around. Bright-colored walls, posters of superheroes, a glowing fish tank, a pile of laundry that looked alive. So this is a human den, she muttered. Primitive, chaotic, possibly disease-ridden. Max flopped onto his bed. You're lucky I didn't hide you in the freezer. At least the backpack had air holes. Lixa huffed, crossing her arms. So what now? You're going to lock me in a cage? Poke me with sticks? Sell me to your internet? Why would I sell you? You're like my best secret ever. He paused. You're not dangerous, right? Lixa pulled out her stick sword and wiggled it. I'm trained in 17 forms of hand-to-hand combat, and foot-to-foot, and ear-to-ear. Cool, Max said, but also maybe calm down. You're safe here. She looked at him. Really looked. This kid, this weird, smiley human with wild hair and socks that didn't match, he wasn't afraid. And he hadn't tried to hurt her. Yet. Still, she wasn't taking chances. She scanned the room. Found a dollhouse in the corner. I claim. This is my fortress, she said, marching in like a queen. Henceforth, this is Alien Embassy Lixa Prime. Night falls, but the danger rises. While Max slept peacefully, Lixa stayed awake. She climbed up to the windowsill, sat cross-legged, and stared at the stars. Out there, someone might be tracking her. Her species, the Zarelians, didn't take disobedience kindly. She had fled the war. The High Command would label her a traitor, and if they didn't find her first, maybe the humans would. Her antennae twitched. A noise. Something. Moving in. The hallway. Thump, thump. Creak. Lixa dove behind the curtain. The door creaked open slowly. A massive shadow filled the doorway. Lixa's translator crystal buzzed nervously. Warning. Unidentified human male. Larger than previous specimen. Possible predator. It was Max's dad. He stepped inside, scratching his beard, looking around. Then he sniffed the air. Max, why does your room smell like burnt cheese and something weird? Lixa held her breath. Her heart hounded. She looked down at her. Stick, useless against this giant. If he saw her, she was done for. Alien stew, she whispered to herself. I'm gonna end up as alien stew. But Max mumbled something in his sleep and rolled over. Cheese puffs ... His dad sighed, shook his head, and left. Lixa exhaled. Okay, that was close. Too close. Night 1, planet Earth, human zone. Max's room, the human child. Maybe trustworthy. His parental units? Still unknown. The taller one smells like meat and sadness. I must remain alert. These creatures may offer kindness. Or trap it in snacks. Also, I need more cheese puffs. She looked at Max. He was drooling in his sleep, muttering something about laser dinosaurs. Lixa smiled, just a little asterisk learning. The monstrous Lixa woke up to the sound of ... screaming. Not battle screams, not monster roars. No, this was a high-pitched, artificial shrieking, coming from a glowing black box in Max's room. She leapt out of her dollhouse fortress, stick sword. Ready. The attack has begun. Max, still in pajamas and half asleep, yawned and pointed to the TV. Relax, it's just cartoons. On the screen, a yellow sponge in pants was screaming at a crab. Lixa blinked. What kind of psychological warfare? Is this a torture broadcast? Nah, this is Saturday morning. It's sacred. He tossed her a piece of toast like it was totally normal to feed aliens breakfast in bed. Lixa sat on the edge of the bed, chewing toast suspiciously. Eyes glued to the screen. Asterisk Phase 1. Observation of Earth culture. Lixa took notes in her journal. Like a space scientist. Observation log number 1. Human entertainment. A sponge lives underwater and flips burgers. No one questions this. A rabbit outsmarts. A hunter with a carrot. This is apparently comedy. Another show has people singing loudly in glittery costumes. There is no fighting, just ... feelings. She turned to Max. Your species is obsessed with strange sounds and dancing competitions. Is this how you train for war? That's the voice. It's not war, it's worse. Then came a show about cooking. Lixa leaned closer. This is the feeding ritual? Yeah, cooking shows. People compete to make food. But why are they yelling at each other? Because it's fun. Lixa narrowed her eyes. You Earthlings are terrifying. Phase 2. The discovery of the internet. Later that day, Max introduced her to the internet. Bad idea. 1 hour in, Lixa had watched a man fall off a bicycle into a lake. She rewatched that one 17 times. A cat playing piano, a guy screaming into the camera about aliens are real. They know about us, she gasped. Yeah, Max said, but no one believes him. He also thinks cheese is mind control. It's not? Lixa asked, seriously concerned. Max clicked on a video of a cooking channel. This is what humans really eat, he said proudly. The screen showed a giant steak sizzling in a pan. Lixa's eyes went wide. That's a body part. It's just meat. From what? A cow, a chicken, an extraterrestrial. She backed away. This proves everything. You eat flesh. You fry bones. You dip innocent vegetables in sauces. Okay, calm down, Max said, holding up his hands. We don't eat everything. Just ... some stuff. A lot of stuff, actually. Look, you like cheese puffs. Lixa crossed her arms. That was before I knew they were probably made of powdered crime. Phase 3. The human father returns that evening. Max's dad came upstairs again. Lixa quickly hid inside the laundry basket, buried under socks and t-shirts that smelled like defeat and gym class. The dad entered with a plate of food. Dinner, he said, placing it on the desk. You've been acting weird lately. Puberty, Max said, without blinking. Oh, okay. The door closed. Lixa peeked out. What's puberty? A curse. The question later, in the quiet of the night. The TV off, the lights low. Lixa sat at the windowsill again. She looked out at the stars. She missed home. Even if home had space wars, annoying generals and dry food pellets. At least it was familiar. Max, yeah? Why do your people destroy so much? The forests, the oceans. Each other? Max was quiet for a moment. Too quiet. I don't know, he finally said. Some humans are selfish. Some are scared. Some just mess up. He looked at her, but some of us try to be better. Lixa didn't say anything. Her journal lay open beside her. She added, humans, possibly not monsters. Possibly something else. Still under study. Also, that thing called ice cream? Worth the lactose reaction, she smiled. Just barely, but then her translator crystal blinked red. A message, a signal, from space. No, she gasped. They found me. Asterisk. The Great Escape. Sort of Lixa couldn't sleep. The blinking red. Light on her translator crystal flashed like a warning beacon in the darkness. Incoming signal. Origin, Zarellian High Command. Subject, location traced. Extraction team en route. Extraction? Lixa's stomach twisted. And not just because she ate too many cheese puffs. If her people were coming for her. It wasn't a rescue. It was a capture. She'd abandoned the war. They'd call her a deserter. No. Worse, a traitor. She had to leave. Now she tiptoed across Max's room, climbed onto the desk, and pulled herself toward the window. She paused only to grab her most valuable possessions. A half-used cheese puff, her alien journal, and a Barbie. Dress she'd stolen for field disguise. Goodbye. Max, she whispered. You strange, snack-offering, emotionally unstable creature. You were tolerable. She climbed out the window and immediately fell into the rose bush. The forest. 342, escape attempt number 1. Lixa ran through the woods like her tiny life depended on it. Because it did. The forest was dark and full of human-sized nightmares. Raccoons. Skunks and owls with judgmental eyes. I've fought robotic spiders, she muttered. I've survived plasma storms. I will not be taken down by a bird with neck issues. She reached the road. Across it stood a glowing building. Bright lights. Signs. A logo of a smiling human holding a cart. Food. Mart. She read. They named their supply bases so obviously. She ran toward it. But she wasn't alone. Rustle. Snap. A low growl behind her. Lixa turned and locked eyes with the beast. A golden retriever, tail wagging, tongue out. No, bark. Lixa ran. The dog chased. She zigzagged through the parking lot, dove into a shopping cart, and kicked off like a tiny purple skateboarder of doom. The cart flew across the lot and smashed into the automatic doors, which opened just in time. Inside Food Mart. Things get worse. The moment Lixa entered the store. Alarms blared. Security alert. Unidentified small creature in aisle 4. She peeked over the edge of the cart. Rows of brightly colored snacks. Refrigerators humming. Cameras, lights, and humans. So many humans. Okay, play it cool. Blend in. Infiltrate. Escape. She jumped into the candy aisle, knocked over a stack of lollipops, and disappeared behind the gum dot. One employee turned the corner. What the? Was that a cat in a dress? Another shouted, it stole a Snickers. That's false. Lixa cried from the shadows. It was a Milky Way. Max realizes she's gone back at home. Max woke up to an empty dollhouse and one single squished cheese puff on the floor. No, he checked the window. Wide open. She ran. He grabbed his backpack, his bike, and a bag of snacks. His best friend was loose in the human world, and knowing her, she'd be mistaken for a raccoon, a mascot, or an alien spy by noon. Asterisk back at the mart. Chase time. Lixa dodged behind a soda machine. She climbed up a pyramid of toilet paper rolls and used it to launch herself onto a shelf. From below, the golden retriever returned now wearing a tiny employee vest. "Why is the dog still here?" Lixa made a break for it. A worker spotted her and gave chase with a mop. "Come here, purple squirrel." She ran through the frozen food section, slipped on spilled juice, landed in a shopping basket, and was accidentally pushed by an old lady toward the checkout. "Oh dear," the lady said. "You're a funny-looking doll." "Ma'am, I am armed with 3.5 inches of pure rage," Lixa warned. The rescued just as Lixa was about to leap into the cereal aisle and vanish forever. Someone grabbed her mid-air. Max breathless. "Sweaty, glorious, gotcha, you crazy traitorous mammal." Lixa shouted, "Let go! They think you're a ferret." "We have to go before they call animal control." They ran out the door. Lixa riding inside Max's backpack. Again, but this time, voluntarily. Kind of. "If I die in here again, I'm haunting your family for 7 generations." Back home. Big questions later, back in Max's room, Lixa stood on the desk while Max paced. "You could have been captured, or stepped on, or put in a cage and labeled government property. Well, maybe if someone had warned me their planet was about to betray me with glowing red alien trackers, I wouldn't have panicked." They stared at each other. Then they both laughed. Kind of weird, shaky, "we almost died" laughs. Lixa sighed. "Max, I think I'm being hunted. By my own people." Max's eyes widened. "Then we better come up with a plan, and fast." Lixa nodded. "Good, because I think my signal just got stronger. And that can only mean one thing." The window flickered. Outside. Above the treetops, just for a second, a silver shape hovered in the sky. Watching. Waiting. Asterisk. The truth about humans, the ship in the sky disappeared as quickly as it appeared. But Lixa saw it. So did Max. Neither of them said anything for a long time. Just silence. Thick and heavy, like the weight of an asteroid hanging above their heads. Max finally broke it. "That was one of yours, wasn't it?" Lixa nodded slowly. "Scout class, fast, armed, silent. If it's scanning for me, I have maybe 72 hours before the real trouble starts." Max swallowed hard. "So they're not coming to help you?" "Help me?" Lixa laughed bitterly. "No, Max, they're coming to drag me back, put me on trial, maybe even erase me." He sat down, eyes wide. "That's messed up." Lixa jumped onto the desk beside him and sighed. "That's war, Max. You either fight or you vanish." The plan. Max stood up and began pacing. "Okay, we need someone smarter than me. Someone who might understand aliens but isn't the government. Someone who, wait, Mr. Patel." "Who?" "My science teacher. Total nerd. Talks about dark matter during lunch. If anyone can help us figure this out, it's him." Lixa narrowed her eyes. "Does this human consume meat?" "He's vegetarian." "Good, I trust him." "Slightly." At the school, operation Tiny Alien. The next morning, Max smuggled Lixa into his school inside a reinforced pencil case. "This is humiliating," she mumbled. "It's either this or my sock drawer. You monsters have no respect for diplomats." He slipped into the science lab and locked the door behind him. Mr. Patel was grading papers, humming to himself. Mr. Patel," Max said nervously, "can I show you something?" "Not from Earth?" The teacher looked up. "Is this about your potato battery again?" "Because, no, this time it's alive." Max opened the pencil case. Lixa stood up and waved. "Hello, I come in peace." "I also come in desperate confusion." Mr. Patel's jaw dropped. His pen fell. "Is this ... is this animatronic? A prank? Did you build this? Is this ... AI? "Nope," Max said. "She's real. She's from another galaxy. And I think she's in big trouble." Truths, translations, and Toast. Lixa explained everything. The war, the crash, the fear of being eaten, the escape, the suspicious snacks. She even showed her translator crystal and a projection of the Zarelian. High Command. Mr. Patel sat in stunned silence. You don't want to invade Earth? No. I just want to not be vaporized by my own people. Is that too much to ask? He finally exhaled. Asterisk. This changes everything. He looked at Max. You understand what this means, right? Humanity isn't alone. But more importantly, we're not the top of the food chain anymore. Lixa interrupted. Actually, you kind of are. You're horrifying. Asterisk. Lixa's hardest question. Back at Max's house that evening, Lixa sat alone in the closet with her journal. She replayed every moment from the last few days. The laughter. The TV, the dog. The humans who smiled at each other, who cooked and danced and sang, even in their sadness. She turned to Max, who was building a tiny pillow fortress for her near his window. Max, yeah. Do you really like being human? He blinked. What? I mean sure, we're a mess. But we're trying. We cry a lot. But we love stuff too. Music, movies, dogs, ice cream, I don't know. We're weird, but we care. She looked down. On my world, feelings are forbidden, even. Fear is punished. I was raised to fight, but here, you're allowed to be afraid, to laugh, to be kind. She looked at him again. You humans are confusing, loud, wild. But I think you might not be monsters after all. A dark signal. Suddenly her crystal blinked red again, but this time there was a voice. A deep, commanding alien voice echoed in her ears. Subject Lixa Zor-El, you are found. Prepare for retrieval. Resistance will result in planetary cleansing. Max's face went pale. What did it say? Lixa didn't answer. She was frozen. Lixa? She looked up. Eyes full of fear. If I don't go back, they'll attack Earth. They're coming. Asterisk. Above the sleeping Earth, space shimmered and something emerged. Not one ship, a fleet. Sharp, sleek, silent. The insignia on their hulls glowed like fire, a circle of 13 stars. Surrounding one Mark Zarelian High Command. Inside the command vessel, Admiral Zorvac stood tall. Cloaked in black, skin like polished silver, his eyes glowed with cold authority. Subject Lixa has gone rogue, he announced. Her betrayal threatens the galaxy. We recover her, or we burn this primitive planet to ash. Back on Earth. Lixa's dilemma. Lixa sat motionless, her translator crystal pulsing red in her hand. Max and Mr. Patel watched her, afraid to speak. Her face, usually full of sass, sarcasm, or snacks, was pale. They've given me a choice, she whispered. Return immediately, or they'll initiate planetary cleansing. Mr. Patel's jaw dropped. That means war, doesn't it? Lixa nodded. Not just war. Annihilation. You'll never see it coming. Orbital strikes. Radiation nets. Gravity disruptors. Earth won't last 10 minutes. Max stood up, fire in his eyes. Then don't let them take you. Max, no, they're wrong about us. They think we're monsters just like you did. Show them they're wrong. You know us now. You know we're not what they think. Lixa looked at him, eyes glassy. They won't listen to reason. Then make them listen. The broadcast plan, mister. Patel jumped into action. We'll send a message to their fleet. Use their own frequency. A universal signal translated in real time. They need to see who we really are. What if they fire first? Max asked. Then we make sure Earth's last words are the truth. They worked through the night. Patel hacked into old radio towers, satellites, anything he could find. Lixa tuned her crystal to the fleet's band. She stood in front of Max's webcam, hands shaking. This is a terrible camera, she whispered. Focus. Max clicked record. Lixa took a deep breath. This is Lixa Zor-El, code designation ZK-14B, Zarelian Field Scout. Broadcasting from Earth. Do not attack. Repeat, do not attack. This species is not hostile. Yes, they're strange. Yes, they eat questionable things. But they are also kind, curious, brave. She paused, looking directly into the camera. They made me laugh. They fed me when I was afraid. They protected me when I was alone. They are not monsters. And if you attack this planet, you will be proving that we are. The silence before the storm. They waited. 1 minute. 2. The screen stayed silent. Then a shadow fell over the house, not from a cloud, from a ship. They found her. The encounter. Sky opened with a deafening hum. Max and Lixa rushed outside as a small craft landed in the backyard, flattening the swing set and vaporizing the garden gnome. The hatch opened. 2 tall Xerelian soldiers stepped out. Their armor shimmered like liquid chrome. Weapons ready, one of them stepped forward. Subject, Zor-El. Your transmission was received. The Admiral ... wishes to speak with you. So, he's here? Lixa asked. No, he watches. She looked at Max. I'll go. Wait, what? No, you can't. I have to, but I'm not surrendering. I'm testifying. The trial above Earth. Lixa was taken aboard the lead ship. She entered the command chamber alone. Admiral Zorvax appeared on a raised platform, projected in swirling blue light. Thousands of Xerelians watched from monitors across the fleet. Zor-El, he said coldly, you were sent to gather intel. Instead, you betrayed us. You praised the primitives. Lixa stood tall. Because they're not what we thought. She played the video again. Scenes from Earth. Children laughing, people helping each other during disasters. Music, inventions, joy, pain, art, love, and at the center of it, Max, offering her a cheese puff. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. You believe these mammals are equals? No, Lixa said. You deny it? They're not equals, she said softly. They're better than us. A pause. Then chaos. Half the council shouted. The Admiral raised his hand. Silence. Your punishment will be exile. You will be stripped of rank. You will never return. Lixa stood tall. Good. I have a new home. The aftermath. Back on Earth, a bright light lit up the sky. The ship vanished. Lixa stood in the field, breathing Earth's air. Free. Max ran to her and hugged her without warning. You did it. Yeah, she said, hugging back. I really did, he grinned. So ... does this mean you're staying? Well, someone has to keep Earth safe. You guys are a walking disaster. One small alien, one giant heart, a million stars away from Earth. At the center of the known universe, the Galactic Council Citadel floated in silence, a place older than empires, home to over 300 alien civilizations, ruled by ancient laws and unspoken rivalries, and today ... it would hear something it had never heard before, a defense of humanity. The mission, are you sure about this? Max asked. He was floating literally inside a transport pod on its way to the Citadel. His face was green. Motion sickness? Or just interstellar anxiety? Both. Lixa hovered beside him, arms crossed, focused, determined. They need to hear the truth, from me, and from you. I'm just a kid who eats cereal out of the box. Exactly. You're real. You're human. That's why you matter. Max groaned. This was so much easier when I was hiding you in a pencil case. Meanwhile on Earth, the news breaks. Back on Earth, the internet exploded. Breaking. Local boy claims he hid. Alien in dollhouse. Now off-planet in intergalactic. Trial. Twitter went into overdrive. Meme pages flooded. Conspiracy theorists popped. Champagne. Meanwhile, NASA sat silently with coffee mugs shaking. We were not prepared for this, one official whispered. Arrival at the Citadel. The pod docked with a metallic hiss. A long hallway of floating light greeted them. Dozens of alien guards stood in rows, some with wings, some with tentacles. One that looked suspiciously like a microwave. Lixa whispered to Max, no sudden movements. And don't stare at the one with 5 eyes. He hates that. Got it. Act normal. Don't vomit. They stepped into the council chamber, a circular arena of judges and delegates, each from a different world. In the center, the glowing blue sphere known as the Judgment Core, where all testimonies were recorded, translated, and broadcast across the galaxy. The head chancellor, a 9-foot being made entirely of crystalline judgment, spoke. Proceed. Subject Zor-El. Lixa speaks. Lixa stepped forward. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook. Members of the council. I was sent to Earth to observe, to report, to classify. At first, I believed humans were monsters. They were loud, strange. They ate things that should never be eaten. Chuckles from the audience. But then I met Max. She gestured. To him. He gave a small, awkward wave. They showed me kindness. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. They welcomed me, even when they didn't understand me. She paused. Looked around the chamber. This is what makes humanity dangerous. Not their weapons, not their numbers, but their hearts. Their ability to love first and ask questions later. They are chaotic, emotional, unpredictable, and exactly what this galaxy needs. Silence, then polite murmuring. Then Max spoke. Max stepped up nervously. Hi, I'm Max. I live in Ohio. It's not that exciting. Awkward pause. But Lixa's right. We're not perfect. We mess up. A lot. But we care. And we try to be better. Even if it's hard. Even if we're scared. I didn't know aliens existed last week. Now I can't imagine not knowing her. He looked at Lixa. I don't think she saved Earth. I think Earth saved her. Gasps. A delegate from the fire lizard race whispered. This child ... speaks in prophecy. The vote after hours of debate and space legal mumbo-jumbo, the council finally voted. The result lit up in green. Earth, officially recognized as a peaceful planet. Protected, under intergalactic law. The chamber erupted in shocked applause. Earth had just been added to the galactic map. No longer alone. No longer ignored. The humans had arrived. 1 month later, Earth. Lixa now lived permanently in Max's room. She'd taken over the bookshelf and declared it her throne. The world had changed. Aliens were real. The galaxy was watching. Cheese puff sales tripled. And Max? He became the ambassador of Earth at age 12. Not bad for a kid who once lost a spelling. B to the word lasagna. Asterisk final journal entry from Lixa Planet 243b Earth. Final report. This world is insane. They dance in the rain. They cry at cartoons. They sing off-key in public. They're reckless, beautiful, terrifying. I came here afraid of monsters, but I found family, and yes, I still want to eat their snacks.